we got this great summary slide thing of endocrine organs. So let me just go through them in no particular order. What's this? Yeah, that's the thyroid. You can see it on this one. I guess they were feeling creative. Anyone know what that thing is? That was the pyramidal lobe. Remember, like 50% of people have a pyramidal lobe that goes up like that. Doesn't mean anything. Anyway, this is the thyroid gland. What would this represent? Adrenal gland. Good. Sorry, I'm running out. This is the big thing. What would this represent? That's a testy. Awesome. What's this?
Pituitary.
Yeah, it's pituitary. Usually if I show this first, somebody will say testes for this one. This is not a scrotum hanging down or anything like that. These are testes. Now, for the bonus question, what part of the pituitary is this?
Anterior.
Anterior, right? How do you know it's anterior?
There's no neuron or axons.
Yeah, you don't see the ends of the axons there. That's the anterior, then this is the posterior. It just represents the ends of those axons. Good. What's this? That's the pancreas. Awesome. What are those things?
Parathyroid.
Yeah, those are the parathyroid. So this is a posterior view of someone's neck. You're seeing those. And then what's this supposed to represent? It's the ovaries. Awesome. So that's that. Here is a sagittal face model. Check this out. Now we're gonna, next week we're gonna do a fetal pig dissection. And when we do the fetal pig dissection, we'll look for endocrine stuff and we'll look for reproductive stuff at the same time. The quiz that you take on Thursday, it's not gonna have any dissections on it or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. But when we do the lab, when we do the sheep brain, it's gonna kind of be what you did in AP1. You're just gonna do like a mid-sagittal cut, kind of look for some of these things. But anyway, not a lot to really look for in this lab in terms of endocrine, but we'll keep using this model throughout the course. What's this thing? That's the pineal gland. Good. And then what's this? Pituitary. All right. That's about all you're going to see on this thing at this time. And then one more model we can look at. Little mini torso model guy. What's that? Thyroid, good. Oh, is there anything I want to see there? Probably not. Let's see here. What is this supposed to represent?
Pancreas.
Yeah, that's the pancreas. Notice the tail of the pancreas is always attached up with, what's that organ? That's the spleen sitting over there. So this is called the tail of the pancreas. It always goes into the spleen. And then if I remove these things further, what are these guys here? There. What's the adrenal gland? Okay. This is a, oops, this is an androgynous sort of model, so I can't really show you ovaries and that. It's transitioning. I don't know. But anyway, it's an androgynous model. It doesn't have all the organs on it, so I can't really ask you about it on this model, but the other things I can show it to you. All right. So let me put that back. And let me go through the microscope slides. Whoops. That can't be good.
Yeah, it looks nothing like the pancreas slide. Yeah.
The ones that was
garbage.
Good enough. All right, so microscope slide stuff.
Yeah.
Here we go. Start over here. All right, does anyone know what this represents? Don't all answer once. This is pituitary, okay? What do you think number 1 area up there represents? That's anterior, and then 2 is posterior, okay? Anterior is usually darker staining. It's usually more densely packed with cells because you have all these secretory cells that are constantly making hormones. Posterior pituitary is a little bit lighter staining. You may actually see some axons in there. Okay. What does 3 represent up here?
The infundibulum.
That's the infundibulum. That's the stalk that the pituitary hangs from the hypothalamus from. Okay, and the infundibulum looks a lot like the posterior pituitary because it represents principally the axons that are coming down from the hypothalamus and going into the posterior pituitary. So the tissue in the infundibulum looks a lot like the tissue in the posterior pituitary. Here's a bit of a close-up. What's this side here?
Posterior.
That's posterior, and over here, anterior. Good. I don't know, I didn't see the slide roaming around, but there is one microscope slide of pituitary that looks like this. Did anyone have a microscope slide of the pituitary that looked like that? It's kind of a weird thing. Does anyone know what they've done here?
Cut it from the top.
They've cut like this. As opposed to what you've been seeing before have been like sagittal cuts like this. They've done like a horizontal or a transverse cut. So you're looking down on it. You're looking down on it from above after they cut it. And what does A represent?
Anterior.
That's the anterior, and then B is posterior. Remember, the anterior is always bigger than the posterior also. Right? Where's this from?
The thyroid.
Thyroid, right? All of these big things, these are the follicles. These are those sacs.
Colloids.
Every one of those is a sac that's filled up with, what's the pinkish material on the inside?
Colloid.
Colloid, right? That's the storage form of T3 and T4, all right? So I think thyroid is one of the easiest things to identify in the class. You see these big sacs filled with this pinkish stuff, and that's thyroid. Nothing else really looks like it. Here's just another picture of thyroid, again, showing you all this big purplish, pinkish material is colloid. The whole thing is a follicle, and then the little cells would be the follicular cells that form the wall of the follicle. Here's a close-up, just to show you a little bit more detail. So again, like this would be one follicle. Here's the colloid inside of it. Each one of these little cells would be the follicular cells. The cells that are not part of the wall of the follicle are called the parafollicular cells, and those are the guys that do the calcitonin. Where's this slide from? Not the adrenal. It's from thyroid, but also parathyroid, right? What's this part here?
Thyroid.
That's thyroid. What's that part? Parathyroid, right? Again, I think thyroid is one of the easiest things to identify. And if you see a dark staining purple area nearby, it's going to be a parathyroid, okay? Again, you can have them both in one slide because they're located anatomically next to each other, okay? This is a little bit bigger close-up of the parathyroid. Most of these cells that you see with the dark black nucleus, what kind of cells are those? Those are the chief cells, or they're called the principal cells. They do the parathyroid hormone. But these guys here that have kind of the big pinkish, purplish cytoplasm, what kind of cells are those? Oxyphil cells, all right? They're kind of a mystery in terms of what they do or what their importance is, but those are oxyphil cells. Here's another picture, again, close up. Most of these cells over here are going to be your principal cells. These guys with the big pink cytoplasm are the oxyphil cells. Where's this from?
Adrenal.
That's the adrenal gland, okay? It would have been really nice if everybody's slide looked like this one, but
yeah.
This is how it works sometimes. What is this little layer right here?
Capsule.
That's the capsule. It surrounds the entire thing. What would you call this whole layer from there to there?
The one with the app.
What is it? The whole thing, what do you call that? Cortex, right? What would you call this part? the medulla, okay? So there's the cortex, there's the medulla. Now if you look within the cortex, again, up here would be the capsule. What do you suppose this area would be? Zona glomerulosa. The clear area would be the zona fasciculata. This darker area would be the zona reticularis, and then you'd get into the medulla, all right? This is what I was trying to explain or tell a few people, how it kind of goes from dark to light to dark and then sort of light again when you get into the medulla, okay? About the only thing that I could really see on a lot of your microscope slides was the fact that the fasciculata had these sort of big, clear, bloated looking cells. You can see them like down there really well too. More adrenal gland, okay? Again, here would be the capsule. This dark purple would be glomerulosa. Most of what you're seeing there is the fasciculata. Then you get into the reticularis. And then this here would be the medulla, situated in the middle. Where's this from?
Pancreas.
Pancreas, okay? What are these guys all around here?
Acini.
Yeah, those are the acini. What's this guy and that guy? Yeah, those are the islets of Langerhans. Also, pancreas, and this is, they got a fair amount. So this would be an islet, that would be an islet, that would be an islet, that's an islet, that's probably a little bit of an islet. Okay. There's another islet. Any questions about any of these slides or anything? Definitely, if you haven't looked at these endocrine slide helper that I put up on Blackboard, look at